Hello everyone, how are we? What a day! How much value have you all got today? Wow. I tell you what, LinkedIn put on a bloody great event in my book, and now I'm waiting for beer, and I'm stopping you from getting to the beer, so let's get cracking. So, I'm here to talk about the art and science of digital connections. And we're based up in the Centre University in Liverpool, and I'm kind of going to run what we would do and how we would think if we were working on a campaign for you. And some of the ingredients and the inspirations that sort of we've looked at and we apply in how we work. Any Liverpool fans? Oh. That wasn't very good, was it? It's not great at the moment, is it? Oh. But other than the fact that I've just got to get Steven Gerrard on a screen, 10 years ago that nearly was, 10 years. The first thing we say to clients is, what's the goal? What is it that we're focused on? I don't know if you've heard of the book Good to Great by Jim Collins. It talks about the hedgehog concept. And basically what he's saying is the great companies stay really focused on what they want to achieve. So if we're putting together a campaign to connect with people, what's the goal? And let's not lose sight of that. And even David can beat Goliath. 10 years ago, May the 25th, half time, I was crying. I was genuinely really crying. I just had my first son was born, Louis, Google Jr. And I was in tears. Rafa said some inspirational words, go and make yourself heroes. 60 minutes later, I was seriously drunk. It was a great night. So anyone can win, we've just got to think differently. And it starts with why. Simon Sinek, if you don't watch TED Talks, watch them. Simon Sinek. And he talks about people by why you do it, not what you do. People by why you do it, not what you do. And that's based on chemistry and biological fact. Because the why is the emotion. It's the reason why people really do business with us. The what and the how is just what we do and how we do it. But we want to connect with people who really give us emotion, and it's the why. And he talks about different things and relates it to Apple and other computer companies. And he says, other computer companies start with a what and how. We make great computers. They're easy to use. They've got lots of memory and lots of RAM. Do you want to buy one? And he says, what? That starts with the what and the how. There's no why. And he talks about Apple, and he says, they start with the why. Apple say, we believe in thinking differently. We believe in challenging the status quo. We just happen to make beautiful computers that are so easy to use, even a child can use them. Do you want to buy one? And he says they lead with why, and I ask you, uncover your why. Speak to your candidates. Speak to the people you work with and say, why do you work with us? And look out for the sentence, and it's really easy, this. Look out for the sentence that says, we work with you because you make me feel. You make me feel that I count, that I matter. It's the emotional stuff. So give that a go, and you'll actually change the way you think and the way you write. Even the way you write job adverts, don't even get me started on that one. And you need to be brave. How brave are you prepared to be in this world of content marketing and digital and social? Because everyone's talking about the same stuff. Kmart, American brand, a bit like Matalan over here. Their marketing team wanted to be brave, but their board was like, no, we can't do this sort of stuff. And they had this idea for this video to create these characters. It took them 6 months to get it passed.
Ship my pants? Right here? Ship my pants, you're kidding.
You can ship your pants right here.
You hear that? I can ship my pants for free.
Wow, I just may ship my pants.
Yeah, ship your pants. Billy, you can ship your pants too.
I can't wait to ship my pants, Dad.
I just shipped my pants, and it's very convenient.
Very convenient.
I just shipped my drawers.
I just shipped my nightie.
I just shipped my bed.
If you can't find what you're looking for in store, We'll find it at Kmart.com right now and ship it to you for free.
I just shit my pants. Dear me. But guess what? You're laughing and joking. That created millions of fans for them. Millions of fans who are waiting to see what these characters do next. Not customers, fans. They have their own bloody Christmas cards, these families now. But it took them 6 months to do it. They have now got connected fans waiting to see what little Billy and Johnny is going to do next. They're waiting with anticipation, so be brave. And the thing is, what do we do there? We have to get to know those that we want to connect with. And it's not business to business or business to consumer. This is people to people. This is what you do. If there's any industry in the world that has anything to do with people, it's you lot. That's how we need to think. And it's not about understanding the masses. It's about understanding the individuals. Behind every digital experience is just somebody like you and me. The keyboard is the biggest conversation killer that exists. In marketing, all we're trying to do in a digital world is give you a conversation with someone so that then you can become friends. It's about connecting with people. So who are they? I've done lots of research on this, and I've took time out to try and learn how do we get to understand and connect with people. And it started with Aristotle. I'm sure you've heard of Aristotle. It's like this famous Greek philosopher. Don't know, that must be the makeup or something someone put on me before. Don't know what happened there. And Aristotle came up with 3 things: ethos, logos, and pathos. And ethos is the power of persuading people through trust. Because if we build credibility and trust, we're more likely to do what that person asks us to do. He talked about logic, the rational thought, the facts and the figures, influencing people through that. And then pathos, persuading people through the power of emotion. And what you find is studies have been done on this. The greatest films, the greatest stories, the greatest books, the greatest sales presentations are 65% led through the power of pathos. They lead with emotion. And if we fast forward to today, we've learned more about the brain in the last 10 years than our entire existence. That's almost since we won the Champions League. And if we learn what neuroscience has told us and what we know about how people tick and the chemistry and the biology, we can influence and persuade people's behavior. Anyone heard of the chimp paradox? No? Stephen Peters? Dr. Stephen Peters is a sports psychiatrist. He works with the British Olympic team. He works with Liverpool. Luis Suarez went to the World Cup and left Stephen Peters here. Now we've lost him. But he talks about there's 2 key parts of the brain to connect with people. He talks about the chimp, which is the limbic part of the brain. It's our emotion-led part of our brain. And he talks about the human, which is the neocortex. It's that rational facts and figures. And I did some studies on this, and there was like 5 key things that would help you connect with the chimp. But we have to connect with the chimp first, because that reacts 5 times faster than any other part. We can't help it. It's like digital love at first sight. It's our gut feeling. We cannot stop it. And then we have the human, which is more facts and figures and rational thinking. And now I'm starting to think about what you're saying to me. So there's a couple of things to really focus on. The thought leader. I'm sure the term thought leader has probably been said 1 million times today. Everybody's talking about how do we become the authority? How do we become the thought leader in our space? And you think about it, if everybody's a thought leader, there's not many new thoughts, is there? So we've got to be really good at this stuff. An example of a guy who's done this really well, and he freaks me out a little bit when I look at him. He does look a little bit freaky to me. Martin Lewis, the money-saving expert in 2003, He started a forum and he thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set something up that gives people lots of advice. I'm going to tap into a community and get them to power it with their content about advice about saving money and loans and mortgages and all that stuff. Think about the questions on everybody's mind about that. Think about the questions that get asked in Google. So he built it and he created more forums and more blogs, but he did one clever thing. He made his content journalistic friendly. Because he knew that his customer was the consumer, but he wanted journalists to spread his content for him, influencing the influencer. He targeted influencers, but made the content really easy for them to digest. He sold it in 2012 for 87 million quid. He couldn't give a shit about saving money anymore. And so, it still freaks me out. And then we need to think about emotion and how we lead with empathy. There's 5 key emotional drivers you need to bring into your marketing, which will help you connect. MRI scans have proven this. When we use these emotions, they light up our brains. They physically light up our brains. Happy. When you saw the Shipped My Pants video, you're laughing. She's laughing again. You're laughing because how it makes you feel. It's not the content, it's how it's making you feel first. And that's what compels you to share things. Humor, we've all seen the funny cats jumping off whatever ledges. We share them, go check this out, this is hilarious. When we're sad, we feel the need to bond. Chemicals are released that makes us feel the need to bond. Charity videos do this all the time. They've probably gone overboard on it. My kids turn it off. They turn it off. If you want to see a good example, check out Charity Water. Fear. When this guy's following you, you're like, oh my God. When you're watching a scary movie, your heart rate goes up. Heart rate goes up. Because the brain is making you fly at the same tempo. You're starting to feel the fear. It's the power of emotion. This guy had a shit day. He went into McDonald's and came out with a bazooka. But anger's a funny one. Because there's nothing wrong with anger, but maybe challenging opinion. Maybe tapping into communities of people and offering your opinion is the way to connect with somebody. Because we don't always agree. So offering an opinion can elicit the response that now gets me speaking to the person that I want to speak to. And it can actually form opinion and then anticipation. Hollywood are brilliant at this. I just want to see one more. You just want to see the end. If you've watched Breaking Bad, I lost sleep over Breaking Bad. And 24, I just watched Jack Bauer one more time. 5 key emotions, get them into your marketing. People will share more about your content that amplify your brand and turn your candidates into fans. And we're not talking about jobs here. It's not all about jobs. And we do that by using sticky notes. Persona mapping is how you build a profile of the person you want to connect with. In marketing, this is like 101. All good marketing agencies won't start anything until they've mapped out and fully understood those they want to connect with. And it goes like this. What's their background? Who are they? Where do they work? Are they married? Or what's their education like? What's their characteristics? What's their personality like? What's their pain and what's their pleasure? And that's a really key point. What's their pain and what's their pleasure? Because pain and pleasure are the biggest motivators in life. In sales, you're taught to find the pain and seek the pleasure that your person you're selling to is trying to seek. But here's the thing. Most people think it's pleasure is the biggest motivator. So is anyone getting married? Yeah? Any women getting married? Okay. When you go shopping for that dress, you're going shopping for that dress because you want to look amazing on your wedding day. You want to look amazing. But you don't want to look shit. You're more motivated not to look bad on your wedding day. It's the same. I go to the gym. God help me, I'm not going to be an Adonis anymore. Not that I was. But I want to stay alive. I want to avoid the pain of being unhealthy. And with your personas, think about the people you want to connect with. Think about those candidates. What's the pain they are trying to solve in their day-to-day lives? What are they measured on? What do they go to bed about, worrying about at night so they can't sleep? You need now to think how you can help them solve those problems. What type of content can you create that's going to help them solve their problems, not just today, next week, 6 months, next year, the future of what's coming your way? This is how we can help. It's the hurt and rescue. And people have different motivational modes. So are they thinking fast and slow? So fast would be competitive or spontaneous, or slow, methodical or humanistic. Are they thinking more emotional, spontaneous, humanistic? Or are they thinking more rational? Now they're thinking about what you're saying to them, competitive or methodical. So to paint the picture, somebody could be in a spontaneous mode. They're like a compulsive buyer. They want to do something fast. And if I was in that mode applying for your job on my phone, could I apply fast? Because if I can't apply fast and I'm spontaneous in terms of my motivation, I'm gone. That's a big deal. For every 3 seconds of load time, after 3 seconds, 40% of your traffic's gone from your website. For every additional second, you've reduced the rate of conversion or application by 20%. So speed's a big deal, the ease that you can do it. If someone's methodical, they're a bit more considered. They're taking their time. If this was an e-commerce page, if you check out John Lewis, their product pages are brilliant. Every piece of information that I could possibly need is on that page. Everything. The questions that I would have in my mind. If I'm looking for a telly, all the information's there. The sizes, there's videos of the telly. It shows me in situ. They'll even try and upsell me to take me telly away. And it's on one page. What are your job detail pages like? Most job detail pages I see are just full of words. Has anyone ever seen a shit job advert? They're all brilliant. Why aren't you looking and thinking and putting more emotive things into your job detail pages? Video. If I'm methodical, I want to know what it feels like to work with you. So think about how you can do that, because words isn't strong enough. Words isn't strong enough. And we have all kinds of tools to help us understand our candidates and our customers. This is the fact to your fiction. Google is loving big data. Learn to use these tools. Analytics will tell you the interests of your users. And then that will help you be informed of the types of things that they'd like to know and the things that you should write about that aren't about jobs. So how do we find them? This is dead easy, this one. This is just like going to the pub. Everybody thinks of digital channels and all these different social media channels like, oh my God, which channel should we be in? Well, I tell you now, your candidates are definitely in LinkedIn. That's a given. They're on Twitter as well. You don't need to be in all these different social channels. If you're interested in teachers, they're in Pinterest. And I'll tell you why they're in Pinterest. The pain for teachers is getting their A's to C's. And they get their A to C's in their results by creating engaging lessons for the kids. And they seek out lesson plans, and they all share them in Pinterest. So if I wanted to find a pub where teachers hang out, I'd be in Pinterest. And then I'd just be nice. How many people see streams on LinkedIn and Twitter and it's just job, 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 job? If I walked up to you in the pub and went, do you want a job? You'd be like, what's this guy on about? That's not how we are. We've got to romance them a little bit. Haven't we? We've got to show an interest in them, maybe help them out. We work in the legal sector. And we worked it out. In Liverpool, they go to 3 pubs, the people who own law firms, the Railway, the Cross Keys, and the Restaurant Bar and Grill. For 3 months, every Friday, we went out and got pissed. We nearly became alcoholics, but we were just nice. This is networking. It's not social media. This is building real-life relationships. Think about what you would do to make friends with people. That's what we should be doing in our social channels, and put the effort in the channels where these people hang out. That's how we need to think about it. You don't need to waste your time in the pubs where your customers and your candidates aren't. What's the point? And think about your moment between the moments. So the story with this is, boutique retailer in America, beautiful ladies shop, fantastic clothes. You pick the clothes up. You walk into the changing rooms. You're feeling good about yourself. You're thinking, I'm going to buy a nice frock here. And the changing rooms are horrible. They're grotty. There's not much room. The mirrors aren't great. Where do you make your buying decision? In the changing room. So what's your moment between the moments? That L'Oreal stuff before this morning, the stickers. Oh my God, I'm getting myself some of them. They were amazing, but think of the moment between the moments that they can create through that. This is, in your world, is your candidate experience. It's not your recruitment process. It's not the onboarding process. It's from the moment they touch your brand. That's what it is. It's not when they apply. It's not when they fail. It's from the moment they hear about you. And then we put people into the ATS. We put them in there to die. I can't, it's like the Twilight Zone. What's going on? You're all sat there going, yep. Yep. Now, in my world, we work with Dulux. It's just a database of customers. We work with Dulux. We email every Friday the painter and decorators because we know they'll reorder the paint for Monday morning to pick it up. And we do it every Friday. It's worth up to £40,000 a month for Dulux. If we stop speaking to people in their database, we will be dead. So just think about that for a second. Because you package people up, pass and fail. Lots of Ken and Barbies on a shelf. They're human beings. You've done the hard work. They're in the Twilight Zone. Just think about it. You literally have thousands of them stocked up in there. Why aren't we assessing their potential? Just because they failed doesn't mean they couldn't pass 6 months down the line, or 12 months, or internal mobility. Or why aren't we making relationships with them? It's the power of email, automated marketing. It's a professional social channel. 96% of people use email, 67% use social. Think about it a different way. Think about it a different way. If we engage these people, they could become a fan base for you, and send them things that's not about jobs. Send them stuff that's not about jobs. And let's not forget, these people in the Twilight Zone, these candidates, they're potential customers. They are potential customers. Just think about how somebody feels when they failed. It's horrible. It's great when we get the job, but what about when we fail? Why can't you become famous for how you treat people, even when they feel crap? Your digital experience is embedded in your overall candidate experience. So think about how you make them feel. You're not building a talent pool. You're building a community of human beings that if you engage with them, it could have a serious impact on your time to hire, your cost per hire, you're amplifying your brand out there, giving you more visibility and making you famous for how you treat people. How do we make friends? What are some tactics that we would use to make friends? The Trojan horse. So here's the story here. We want to think about how we can identify influencers. We wanted to work with some national legal companies, and we identified employment law partners. Okay, and it turns out they're not that digitally savvy. But what we did is we identified the people who worked around them on their teams, the solicitors who just left the university. And I met found a lady called Charlotte Caldwell, and I kept in touch with her, and I walked into the pub, and I was nice to her, and I shared her content, and I helped her out. 6 weeks later, I'm seeing on my social channel, I was hungover actually, I'd just been with Tommy Tippy, don't tell them that. And she tweeted out, we've just done an event for all our clients on the law of social media. And I was like, this is the moment I go to get her number. Charlotte, we do a brilliant event on how to get more business through social media. We should talk. She tweeted me back. I was in her offices 7 days later. We did 6 events to their HR community last year, and we now work with them. And that was done through thinking about the Trojan horse. So in your world, that's influential marketing. Think about the personas and how you've identified them. Then think about who influences them. And make friends with the influencer, because they're the ones who've already got the community. They're the ones, when you've walked into that pub, they're the most interesting person in the room. That's who everyone's listening to. You need to make friends with them. And it's a marriage, not a one-night stand. It's not a quickie. And make friends before you need them. And this is one of the things with me, is we've got to invest in a bit of time here. Marketing takes time. We've got to turn that flywheel. We need to make those friends before we need it, which means we need a bit more of a medium-term view on it. Ego jacking. Be a giver, not a taker. There's a thing in networking called giver's gain and reciprocity, which is about how we influence people. If you help others out, if you say nice things to people, you make them feel good. And our brains release oxytocin into our bodies to make us feel good. In our offices, we call them digital hugs. There's a few of you who've had a digital hug today. Yeah, I thought you might be quiet on that one. So think about how you can massage their egos, and we call it ego jacking. Think about how you make people who are influential in a community that you want to tap into, make them feel good and make them your friends. Employee advocates, this is still quite new to us, this. But this is about using the power of your teams. In the war for talent, you have a special forces team of talent scouts. You have people in your teams. You'll have digitally savvy people doing stuff who have already got their own communities. So think about how you can give your people the power to become ambassadors for your brand. And actually, people connect with people better than people connecting with the brand. It's more personal. It's sometimes easier to make friendships with real people than the brand. And if you become a team that people like following, you're more likely to become a business that people want to support. Employee advocate marketing. And then how do we connect? What are we going to say? How do we need to think about it? In marketing, we have all kinds of funnels, okay? So this funnel's really easy. It's how people go through a consideration stage. We've got see, think, do, delight. At C level, the personas, the candidates you want to speak to, have got problems. They're not quite sure what the solutions are yet. They might not even be aware of these solutions. So when you're doing your persona workshops, you need to think about the pains that might be coming their way, and then create content that will connect with them and help them out with those future pains, so that they find it when they go looking. They think they've got a problem. They're now researching the solution. They've come across yours. They've come across your help. And now they're starting to think about you. The do is now you've got to convince me. This is your application page. Convince me to apply. Why should I apply? And it's not just about money. It's what's it going to feel like. It's the experience. Who am I going to be working with? And delight. That's your twilight zone. Your passive candidates are at C level and do level. And you've got lots of Ken and Barbies in the twilight zone who are passive candidates for the future. So just think about that. In the world of content, the currency of influence is it. It is content. Content is what gets you seen. It's what they read. It's what they engage with. The Magnificent Seven themes that get shared the most are them. They're the types, themes of content that get shared more on the internet than any others. I'm not going to go through them all. Research and analysis is a really interesting one in your world. When I look at recruitment agency websites, when we look at what's going on in them, consistently in the top 5 are salary surveys that get viewed the most. So what are you saying and what are you creating to help people think about their careers and salary surveys and what comes with it and the benefits and everything else and how it's going to change in the future? Because what that does is that forms opinions as well. It forms opinions and it might elicit a response, maybe not anger, but it might help people begin to form a response and opinions. So data's an interesting one. And there's lots of others there. Pain point is another one. What's going to be painful in your industry and how do you help? But big content and visual assets can speak 10,000 words. Content isn't just the written word. It's video, it's infographics, it's downloads, it's gamification. You've probably all heard of these different things. And what do we want to do? Do we want to entertain them? Do we want to inspire them? Do we want to educate them? Or do we want to convince them to do something? The Ship My Pants video is entertaining, C-level content. It gets seen. Let's have a laugh, and we're going to share it. The convince is at the do. Case studies. So if I was a job detail page in your world, I'd have videos, real life. If Tim's in here somewhere from Nationwide, we've done stuff with Nationwide, Tim's Tours is famous in our office because it's what really matters. He takes people around the campus of Nationwide going, and this is the really secret little place where you can go and have a crafty fag or whatever he does. I know you don't do that, Tim. But that's the kind of thing he does. He shows them all the secret places. On the job detail page, we're like, let's get an experiential video from people who reflect the people watching the video, telling them what it feels like. And that will convince them to do more of what we want. Because if I say it, I'm selling. If my customer says it, it's now social proof and evidence you can do it. Social proof. But what's the thing about content marketing? Everybody's talking about it. There's loads of it going out there. It's something like less than 5% of content that gets out there actually really gets engaged with. But when we're talking about producing content and what we create, are we just satisfied? Because satisfied isn't good enough. Good isn't good enough. Content is more than writing. It's more than video. It's more than infographics. Content is a commitment. It's not a campaign. And that doesn't mean everybody in your teams have suddenly got to become bloody journalists. It means we've got to buy into what we're doing. We've got to breed that culture. We want content. We want a committed team. We want buy-in and create a content culture in your teams. Great content will attract brilliant people for you, and it will make you digitally famous. We don't need more content. We need content that does more. Value. Give value away. Give your best stuff away. The currency of real networking is generosity and value. It's how we help people. If you look at the graduate space, some of the stuff, again, we've done with the guys at Nationwide, it's not about the graduate opportunity. It's how we can help them. We do all kinds of crazy stuff. We've even done infographics on how to do togas. Because it's like, well, if I've got an emergency fancy dress party, what am I going to do? It's crazy, I know. We've got all kinds of survival kits and drinking infographics and backpacking things around the world. But it's what these students are interested in. And do you know how we know? We asked them. And it helps us form the content to create, to engage. We need to create more value for more people more often. So when it does come to choosing, they choose you. They choose you. Storytelling. It's a big thing in marketing at the moment. The power of telling a brilliant story. But it's got to be authentic. some of the greatest storytellers that have ever existed are Hollywood. All these films, you know, Hollywood has 6 formulas to telling a great story. And you think about James Bond, it opens, big scene, and then he's going to die, and he needs saving, there's a woman in there doing something, and then it builds to a crescendo, emotionally taking you through the journey. They're using emotion, they're moving you through emotional and how you feel. They do it brilliantly, and what they do is, they make the hero, the characters, those that they want to connect with. Customers. They place their customers in the heart of the films. So just think about this. It's why the Avengers has a female in there. They wanted more females in the cinema. Aliens is an awesome film. My wife loves it. She hates sci-fi. But she loves it because of Sigourney Weaver. She connects with her. So you need to put the spotlight on your customers and think about how you put them at the heart of your stories. And this is proven in neuroscience. This is an MRI scan from a guy called Dr. Hassan. He's Russian. And basically, this is somebody telling a story, the top, and the audience's brains mirroring what's being said by the storyteller. Our brains respond in the same way. We're actually hardwired to listen and share the same experience. They sync together. It's known as neurocoupling. This is marketing's very own Vulcan mind meld. So we need to think about how we can bring that in. But we can hit the bullshit monitor. What happened to me tea? Bullshit. We need to think. Those of you who've probably heard of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, we have this thing called the critical faculty. We train ourselves to screen out bullshit. Marketeers are the best trainers of bullshit monitors in the world. You have direct mail, we give you spam, we have email, we give you more spam. We just keep ruining everything. We see 10,000 links a day. Who remembers the billboards you saw to get here? Who watches X Factor? Come on, lads, put your hands up. Right? Who records X Factor on Sky Plus? Because the adverts do your head in. They do your head in, you whiz past them. The average human now has an attention span of 6 seconds. A goldfish has got more. The Vine, 6-second Vine is the new 1-minute commercial. There's so many competing voices. So make sure what we say makes sense and it is remarkable. And make sure we're authentic. Don't say bullshit. Tell the truth. Stories will help build your brand proposition. Scans have shown that when people evaluate a brand, it's led with emotion first rather than facts and figures. That's how we evaluate brands. It's not what you think it is or say it is. It's what they say it is. It's what they say about you when you've left the room. That's what your brand is. You can't control this. You can only influence it. It doesn't stop with pass or fail. It's retention. It's experience. Make sure you're telling stories through the power of your people and the people that mirror those that reflect those that you want to connect with, helping you get on their wavelength, making your brand contagious and magnetic. People feel first, think second. It's how we're hardwired. It's the chimp and the human. If we can identify the emotional drivers, we can actually improve how our candidates feel and their experience. We need to humanize what we're doing and bring emotion into our marketing and what we do. People love how you make them feel. And if you can connect with that and make them feel good, you'll benefit from the greatest marketing channel that's ever existed. Word of mouth. Even Jesus started with word of mouth. And there's a great, I can't remember the lady just come to me now, I can't remember, but she said these words: people may forget what you said or did, but people never forget how you made them feel. It's really true. It's really true. Now, I know some of you are sat there going, this is all very fluffy, nice stuff, but how do we measure this stuff? So I can't stand up here and not talk about ROI. I just can't do it. And there's an ROI formula, and there it is. There it is. And it is massively important for every client I work with. We'll say to them, for every pound you spend with us, you make this. ROI is God. The boards, the big execs, they want to know all the ROI, and it's massively important, and we should be making decisions based on that. But social isn't just sales. In marketing, there's a phrase that we're touched 6, 7 times before we make that decision. Think about how humans buy things. If I take my wife shopping, she wants a pair of shoes. We go in the first shop. She tries them on. Oh, I like these. These are really nice. She gets really well treated. Oh, yeah, I like it in here. Will she buy them? Will she bollocks? We'll be in and out of every shop all day. I'll miss the match. You know, and guess what? We end up back in the shop we went in the first place, and she buys them. That's what happens online. So ROI can't be one-dimensional. It's 3D. So let's paint the picture of ROI in your world. I'm browsing the web and I'm on a social talent. I'm on Twitter and I see something that just catches my eye. It leads me to a website, a careers website. And there's an article that's of interest to me. And I think, oh, that's quite interesting. It's about, my career, what's going on in my world, and what could be happening in the future. I leave the website. I don't apply. I come back a couple of days later, and it's triggered something in my head. And I'm thinking, that was quite interesting. I'm going to Google a bit more stuff about my career and what could be happening. So I go on Google, and this time I enter the same careers website via Google. And I'm having a look around, reading this on, and think, this is pretty interesting, this. And I happen to see a job. I think, well, that's quite interesting. But I leave. I leave the website again. It didn't convince me, but I'm sort of now on the mind shelf of this organization. 2 days later, I think, sod this, I'm going to go and check that job out again. And I type the name of the organization's website directly into the browser. I go into the website. I find that job. I don't apply straight away because I'm more interested now in how you're going to make me feel to work with you. But then I apply. And I'm now in your twilight zone. What happens next is anyone's guess. But it took me 3 visits to convert. Now, some people would say, well, the most important part of that journey is when they applied. But actually, I'd argue and say, do you know what? It could be. But actually, I'd never applied if I hadn't walked into the shop at the very beginning via a tweet. And that's the thing with ROI. There's an attribution model. Attribution. People dip in and out and behave in different ways. When you do your Christmas shopping, you'll have loads of browsers open and you'll be searching around before you make the choice. And we have to learn to take the ROI of all this social and content activity and apply it over the journey and show it that way. And the last thing is learn to be memorable. When we become memorable, when we get people connected emotionally, we create charged events in the brain. And we become memorable because dopamine's released into our brains. It's the save button of our brains. So you need to think about how you were there to achieve that. This is a guy called Mike Dobbin. This is a guy who some people would say is an absolute lunatic. He wanted to take on the might of Gillette, a $200 million marketing budget. And he was like, no, I'm going to change the way people shave. It's good for me. I'm going to try and dare. I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to become memorable. He understood his customer. He thought about people he wanted to connect with. He thought about the type of content that could get him noticed at sea and bring people down to think. And then maybe they will do what I want them to do. And he made this video.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop up. Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I've seen that so many times, I still love it. That guy, that got seen 16 million times in 7 days. He has not customers, he has millions of fans waiting for him to see what he's going to say next. He raised $2 million in a week through that video. He dared to think differently. He understood his why. He was prepared to be brave. He thought about it. He just wasn't satisfied with what he was going to create. And now he's memorable. Now he's memorable. It's been emotional. Thanks very much.